All right, first off, I want to apologize because my voice is completely shot from having lost my voice. Unfortunately, the show must still go on. So, last time with Linux Mint, what we installed was Discord and Steam. This time, we're going to get a little bit more deeper into how things like the terminal function, as well as a few other little things that you might enjoy using inside of your Linux experience. Things like HTOPs, this way you can monitor your system a little bit better, understanding GNOME Disk utility, as well as GParted. I also have a little friend that's joined us this time because my voice is completely shot. So here's Nexus. Nexus, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey everyone, I'm Nexus, the networked expert utility system. While Moity's voice is on a little vacation, I'm here to keep things lively and informative. We'll break down terminal commands, tools like HTOP, GNOME Disks, and GParted, and make sure you're getting the most out of your Linux Mint experience. Let's dive in and have some fun along the way.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into the first thing. We're going to do Control Alt and T. That's going to bring up our terminal. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to do a fancier terminal like this in a later video, but this is just my beloved little Fish environment. And Fish is a great terminal emulator. That's one of the beautiful things about Linux, is that you can actually change out just about anything. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the ls command. Can you go ahead and explain that for me there, Nexus?
Absolutely. The ls command lists all the files and directories in your current location. It's like taking a quick peek inside a folder. You can also add options to customize what you see. For example, ls-l, that's ls space -l, shows detailed information like permissions and file sizes. ls-a, that's ls space -a, lists all files, including hidden ones. ls-h, that's ls space -h, shows file sizes in a human-readable format. It's a simple but powerful way to get a snapshot of what's in your directory. Ready to see what's in there?
All right, so that's the ls command. I obviously forgot to unmute my mic. So now that we have an idea of like how to list out files or the folders that are inside of our directory that we're in, how do we get into the other directories? So this way we can actually access things like documents, downloads, pictures, music, stuff like that. Take it from there, Nexus.
Sure thing. To navigate into other directories, we use the cd command, which stands for change directory. Just type cd followed by the path of the directory you want to go into. For example, cd documents, that's cd space documents, moves you into the documents folder. cd ... that's cd space ... moves you up one directory level, taking you to the parent directory. cd/home username, that's cd space /home / your username, takes you directly to your home directory. It's like telling your terminal exactly where you want to go. Easy and efficient.
Okay, that's pretty simple. Is there any other commands that I should be aware of inside of this whole, confusing little space here, Nexus?
Definitely. Another super useful command is pwd, which stands for print working directory. It shows you exactly which directory you're currently in, so you never get lost. Just type pwd and hit enter, and it will display your current path. It's like a little compass for your terminal adventures.
Okay, so say I wind up getting myself lost, right? I'm all the way in another folder, and I've gone all the way down into like an etc folder, and just dug through multiple files, and I'd like to just get straight back to home. How do I do that?
Easy fix. If you ever find yourself lost in the depths of your directories and want to get back to your home directory quickly, just type cd by itself and hit enter. That'll take you straight back home. It's like a shortcut that always brings you back to your starting point. Easy peasy.
All right, so that seems rather simple. Now, here's the thing. I want to monitor and see kind of how resources are being used on my computer. What would be a good direction to go when it comes to being able to see that like in the terminal, where it's like constantly refreshing and showing me active usage?
For real-time system monitoring in the terminal, you can use a tool called HTOP. It gives you a live, updating view of your system's resource usage, like CPU, memory, and running processes. It's like Task Manager, but cooler and right in your terminal. To install it, just run sudo apt install htop. That's sudo space apt space install space htop. Once it's installed, just type htop and hit enter, and you'll get a colorful interactive display of what's happening on your system. Super handy.
Okay, so I'm inside of htop. How do I close out of htop?
Closing htop is simple. Just press the Q key on your keyboard, and it'll exit right back to your terminal prompt. Quick and easy.
Oh, that looks fantastic. Alrighty. Well, let's go back into that htop application. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some things that are here while Nexus takes a little bit of a rest. So we have memory here. We can see that we have 31.3 gigs worth of memory available, and we're currently using 2.76 gigs worth of memory. And then we have our cores that are operating here, and we can see what each core is doing at the top, as well as our swap space, which is going to be like a temporary type of RAM environment. Actually, can you explain swap for me real quick, Nexus?
Of course. Swap space acts as an overflow for your RAM. When your system runs out of physical memory, RAM, to use, it moves some inactive data from the RAM to the swap space on your hard drive or SSD. This helps keep your system from crashing when it's under heavy load, even though accessing swap is slower than using RAM. It's like a backup plan for your memory needs, ensuring your system can handle more workload without running out of memory.
That seems pretty simple. There's another way to close out of htop. If you hold Control and press C, it'll go ahead and exit out of that as well. Now, okay, we kind of have like a little bit of an idea on how to use the terminal and go through files and folders. Pretty simple stuff here. But what if I want to manage the disks themselves? Is there anything to handle that when it comes to... I've heard about an application called GParted. Is that useful?
Absolutely. GParted is a fantastic tool for managing your disks and partitions. It gives you a graphical interface to create, resize, delete, and move partitions on your drives. It's like a Swiss Army knife for disk management. To install it, you can run sudo apt install GParted. That's sudo space apt space install space GParted. Once installed, you can launch it from your application menu or by typing sudo GParted in the terminal. It's a great way to handle your disk partitions safely and efficiently.
Okay, I've got GParted loaded up. Is there anything specific that I should be aware of? Anything that's useful to a newbie when it comes down to this?
For sure. A couple of key things to keep in mind with GParted. First, back up important data. Before making any changes to your partitions, it's always wise to back up important data. Partition changes can be risky if something goes wrong. Second, apply changes carefully. GParted lets you queue up multiple operations, but changes aren't applied until you click the Apply button. Double-check everything before applying to avoid accidental data loss. Third, understand file systems. GParted supports various file systems like ext4, NTFS, FAT32, and more. Make sure you're familiar with the file system you're working with and what it's used for. Fourth, resizing partitions. You can resize partitions by clicking and dragging or entering specific sizes. Just ensure you have free space available if you're expanding a partition. Overall, GParted is user-friendly but powerful, making disk management straightforward for beginners and pros alike.
Oh, that seems pretty simplistic here. All right, so we're looking at GParted. Looks like on the right-hand side, we have a list of our different drives that are inside of our computer. Seems pretty simple here. If I go ahead and, if I right-click on the partition that I want, I can actually resize that partition. I'm not going to play with that right now. We're going to go ahead and close out of that. But what about this application that I've heard about, which is GNOME Disk Utility? What do we got there?
GNOME Disks is another handy tool for managing your drives, and it's a bit more user-friendly for basic tasks compared to GParted. With GNOME Disks, you can view disk health. It lets you check the smart status of your drives, helping you monitor their health and catch potential issues early. Format and partition. You can easily format drives and create or delete partitions. Mount and unmount partitions. It makes it simple to mount or unmount partitions with a click. Create disk images. You can create and restore disk images, which is great for backups or cloning drives. To install it, you can run sudo apt install GNOME Disks. That's sudo space apt space install space GNOME Disks. GNOME Disks is perfect for quick tasks and routine disk management without getting too technical.
Okay, unfortunately, Nexus, you're a bit inaccurate with that. It's going to be GNOME-DISK. Disks hyphen utility. That's spelled GNOME hyphen disk DISK hyphen utility. But you got largely that information correct here. Let's go ahead and press enter here to start that installation process. And my dumb butt forgot that we're inside of Linux Mint, so it actually comes with GNOME Disk utility or GNOME Disk utility. If we go over here to the super menus or start menu, whatever you want to call it, and we type in the word disks, it'll actually load up disks. Now that we're in here, this is a great opportunity to talk about mounting drives. Now, there is a way to mount the drive, like auto mount drives, like if you have multiple hard drives. If, for instance, mine right here, we have this 2 terabyte drive. This is actually my Steam file. If you notice here, if you're able to read it on screen, it says Steam. That's where all of the games are installed for my specific install. This way I could swap between distros a little bit more easily without having to download all the games that I play on the regular. Can you go ahead and explain to me, though, Nexus, real quick, how you would mount that with something like FSTab instead?
Sure thing. To auto-mount a drive at startup using FSTab, you'll need to edit the etc/FSTab file and add an entry for your drive. Here's how you do it. First, find the UID of the drive. You can find the UID by running ls-ff. That's ls- space -f. Look for your drive and note down its UID. Edit the FSTab file. Open the FSTab file with a text editor. Sudo nano etc/ftab. That's sudo space nano space /etc/ftab. Add the entry with your UID and your drive's mount point. For example, UID equals your UID, MNT Steam, defaults 02. Replace your UID with the UID you found, ment Steam with your desired mount point, and ext4 with the file system type. Fourth, create the mount point. If the mount point directory doesn't exist, create it. Sudo mkdir ment. That's sudo space mkdir space -e.
Oh, okay. But that's way too complicated for beginners. What are you doing? Okay, anyways, I set it up for failure in that. When we're inside of GNOME Disk Utility, it's really easy. You're going to find the disk that you want. In fact, actually, let me go ahead and load back up that previous command here so we can see that this file has some drives that are automatically mounted already, or some partitions that are already mounted automatically. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close out that terminal. Inside of GNOME Disk Utility, if I wanted to auto mount my Steam drive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little thing to the right. It's going to be a gear in this one. I've seen it have like a little weird like menu play button inside of it, but we're going to look for edit mount options. And we're going to go over here. Instead of having user session defaults, we're going to uncheck that. And then we're just going to press OK. It's going to have you enter in your password. But what that's going to do is it's going to auto mount this drive. So this way we actually have that drive available to us when our system comes live. All right. So then if we go down in here into Steam really fast, we can actually change that mount point that we have for that drive if Steam would decide to cooperate with me. Here we go. We're going to go to Steam. We're going to go to settings. And then we're going to go down to storage. We click on storage. We can click add drive. And we're actually going to see right here in this list is that there's this, that 2 terabyte drive. By adding it, now when we go into my library, we can actually see that games like Repo should be automatically installed. Why is it not doing that? Give me just a moment here. There we go. Forgot to make default. Don't have to make default. It just apparently didn't want to look. Come on, Steam. Let's cooperate. Well, it saw that Stardew Valley's here. It may take a little bit of time. Oh, my Lanta. That's why. Settings. Compatibility. I forgot to turn on compatibility mode. All right, give me just a moment real quick and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. That's one of those flukes. I just freshly reinstalled Linux Mint. So what we have here is if we go into our library now we'll see that I have things that are already ready to play. So we can hop into those games. All right, Nexus. So why would I use Linux Mint over the top of using something like Ubuntu?
Great question. Linux Mint offers a few advantages, especially for new users. First, user-friendly interface. Mint's Cinnamon desktop environment is designed to be intuitive and familiar, especially for users coming from Windows. It has a traditional desktop layout that's easy to navigate, making the transition smoother. Second, out-of-the-box experience. Mint comes with a lot of useful software and codecs pre-installed, so you can play media files, watch videos, and browse the web without extra setup. Third, performance and stability. Mint is known for being lightweight and stable, which can be a big plus if you're running it on older hardware or just want a smooth experience without extra bloat. Fourth, customization. While it looks classic out of the box, Cinnamon is also highly customizable, so you can tweak it to your liking without too much effort. Fifth, community support. Mint has a strong community and plenty of documentation, making it easy to find help and resources if you need them. Overall, Mint's simplicity, stability, and user-friendly approach make it a solid choice, especially for those who want a hassle-free experience.
All right. That seems like some pretty decent reasoning to go with Linux Mint, especially for a beginner.
Exactly. It's a great starting point and a solid daily driver for a lot of people. Glad you're finding it worthwhile.
All right, so I'm kind of used to being inside of the Windows environment where things kind of auto start for me. Like things like Discord and Steam automatically load up when I boot into my system. Is there any way to do that inside of the Linux environment?
Absolutely. You can easily set applications like Discord and Steam to start automatically when you boot up your system. Here's how you do it in Linux Mint. Open Startup Applications. You can find this by searching for Startup Applications in your menu. Step 2, add a new startup program. Click on the Add button. Step 3, enter details. For Discord, you can name it Discord, and in the command field, just type Discord. For Steam, name it Steam and type Steam in the command field. You can also browse for the exact executable if you prefer. Step 4, save. Once you've added them, they'll automatically start the next time you log in. This way, you can have your favorite apps ready to go as soon as you boot up, just like on Windows.
All right, that seems like it'll work out pretty well for me. Thank you very much for all the help that you've done with us today. Now, the thing is that these are very simple videos that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to walk you through everything as cleanly as possible to the best of my ability. We're going in stages. The next thing, though, is that I do want to make this environment a little bit prettier because I'm used to things like KDE Plasma and then being able to do what's called ricing my XFCE environment. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at a little bit more. I hope you guys enjoyed having Nexus with us. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Nexus, go ahead and lead us out.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We hope you found this guide helpful and feel more confident with Linux Mint. Stay tuned for the next video where we'll dive into customizing your desktop and making it look amazing. Until then, keep exploring and having fun with your new Linux setup. Catch you next time.
And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one. Don't be afraid to dive into the rift.